Okay, so right now we are live. So for and at this time we are more than three connected. So yeah, that's great. So just a little moment. Okay. So
Just a first question, Domenico.
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, fire.
Okay,
Yeah.
can I start a new story file for tonight too?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so everybody have to tweet, you know.
You want us to tweet at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can tweet with CivicWise is, because
Yeah.
today we're gonna talk about the values and principles, and this is actually our first hour in the agenda. So
Okay.
it makes sense that whatever we say or whatever conclusions we gain, yeah, we can share it with Twitter. It's a good idea. So we keep the people in the conversation.
Shall we also use the CivicWise Hangout hashtag, or just the CivicWise is? It's gonna be too long with both.
Up to you.
For this time, let's use CivicWise is, which is shorter.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, for those that are just listening, yeah, wherever you are, we are just starting this second CivicWise Hangout. So if you are hearing that, you probably already heard about CivicWise, and I understand you are at least curious about it, and we hope we can have also you on board on this ambitious project. So we are just at the beginning of this meeting. At the beginning is a little bit a mess because we have to just connect with other people around the world. So now I think, for example, Noel is connecting, and before we start, I would like to remember you how you can get involved in this kind of hangouts online. Remember, you have to follow our Google Plus page. You can find it directly from our website, civicwise.org, or just looking for CivicWise on Google Plus. And this is important because if you follow us on Google Plus, you will receive directly an invitation to take part in this hangout. Otherwise, you can find just on our blog a link directly to our YouTube, and you can watch live the session. So as Saverio, Ursula, Fausto was saying, we encourage you to use Twitter, and we will use for today's session the hashtag CivicWiseIs, because today we want to talk deeply about our values and our core principles. So I think before we can start with the session, I would like to know more about all of you connected this evening, which is very yeah, it's exciting having all of you here. So I don't know. I have just on the left Alberto. Alberto, just a quick presentation for us.
Yes. Hello, guys. I am based in Amsterdam. I come from Italy originally, and here I'm studying an MFA at Sandberg Institute, and the master. We are 10 people, and the title is called Designing Democracy. So we are looking at the relationship between art and design and politics. So that's what I am personally engaged on in this period.
Great. Just I take just the word for another reminder. Fausto, your microphone is when you breathe. We
You want me to?
Yeah.
Going up there.
You have otherwise this tool, which is a microphone. You can silence it or mute it when you are not talking, or just yes. Okay.
Actually, I want to talk now because I was imagining that there might be some people in the audience that don't know much about CivicWise. So I think I'm going to give myself a minute to tell a brief story of what's been happening until now. And obviously, we had this conversation many times before, but I'm just going to try to put it in 2 lines. The idea was there to create a platform that shared governance, much participatory, transparent, and horizontal as possible. And some of us were gifted to find that idea in our ways. We came together, a core team of 6 people who say, okay, we're going to do something with it. So we just had a few meetings and organized the launch event, which happened like a month ago, more or less. In that launch event, we opened the discussion, we created some participatory activities, we gave people some wine so they will feel a bit relaxed, and yeah, we start harvesting a lot of ideas, a lot of information on what it could be. So we start imagining, thanks to that big family that's been created, the CivicWise we all wanted. And obviously that is an ongoing conversation. Last week we had our first Hangout global, where the circle in London was joining with a crowd of around 23 people worldwide. And yeah, we advance in creating that network that today is going to be somehow growing. And yeah, as a brief just paragraph of what we're doing today, we're supposed to be talking about our values and principles. Basically, we have some, as human beings, we've been related to each other for a little while, so we're starting to get to know each other. But as more people join in, we're going to have to expand that conversation and reach some consensus at some point. Obviously, the conversation will be still open, but yeah, well, it'd be great if we can hear from new people, from the information that you have already and the ideas that you have already in your mind. How would you imagine CivicWise in the future? So it'll be interesting to see how would you like to collaborate, but yeah, how would you see yourself in all this? And yeah, pass to Domenico again to see if you have something else to say.
I think it's a good introduction. Thanks, thanks, Fausto. I think it would be useful if we can hear more about the rest of the people we have here. Jonas, I don't know if you. Otherwise, Ursula.
Shall I go?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Ursula. It's stunning that every time we have a streaming, there is more people joining. Great. We were discussing with Domenico how fast the community is growing. Oh, I think Jonas. No. Okay. Yeah. So I'm Ursula. I am normally based in London, but currently in Paris for a couple of weeks. I am. Wear different hats. Like I am currently a project coordinator, project management, but I'm also passionate about placemaking. So I define myself as a placemaker. I worked in several community-led projects, and the reason why I got involved in CivicWise is because I strongly believe that connecting people and spaces is indeed the way to shape better cities, because no one else than people who are the citizens are the real experts. So having a platform where this conversation and collaboration can happen, so that different people who wouldn't normally talk together can actually meet and collaborate. So my name is Ursula. It's stunning that every time we have
Just
some return voice.
Yeah, no, it's just go ahead.
Oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
Don't want to take more space.
What about Alberto? Alberto, you like to say something?
Yes, I thought I was speaking before. But okay, you didn't hear me, that's okay. So I'm based in Amsterdam, and I'm currently studying for a Master in Fine Arts at the Sandberg Institute here, which is the Masters of the Rietveld Academy. And I'm part of a group of 10 people, and our master is called Designing Democracy. So we look at the relationship between art and design and democracy, and we engage with that.
And how do you see CivicWise? I mean, from the things that you have, what impressions you have, Alberto?
Can you repeat your question, please?
You hear me?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, I mean, of course. Yeah, from the impressions that you got from what you read or the conversations that you had. I don't know if you had with somebody a chance to talk. How do you see this civic engagement platform that we're trying to bring together?
I think it's a very important experiment because I believe in the power of connection. You can see this recently in the examples of the occupations at the universities here in Amsterdam, how this was flying to London, to Cape Town in South Africa, and how these experiences, when they are connected together, they actually acquire more relevance and more power. So this is the aspect that I would like to stress through the CivicWise platform, to connect things that otherwise remain isolated because they are very local, but they might be extremely valuable experiments, although at the micro scale. So that's my impression, basically, to bring things together.
Sounds beautiful. What about Siverio? Or, sorry, I don't know, the girl is there, I don't know, Mercé, you want to say something?
Yeah, before the girl.
Come on, somebody jump in.
I have just to Mercy, you have to.
Can't listen. Okay.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, I just started. Actually, I told Domenico yesterday that I was not going to join the Hangout because I don't feel a lot of confident with English. But well, I'm going to introduce myself and I'll try to. I'm Mercé. I'm from Bilbao. I'm one of the people that we have founded a metropolitan observatory in the city. So we are starting with the project. And actually, but now actually I'm living in Lancaster. I'm a postdoc researcher here in the Department of Sociology. And I've been working a lot, both in the academic sphere, but also like in militant or activists, or like activists in local democracy and some experiences of participatory democracy. So yeah, this is kind of, it's my background. So, and yeah, I'm really interested in following all the process and all the project. And I've been looking at the materials that you have sent through the Drive folder. And yeah, so let's see how it goes, the debate today.
Thank you. Siverio, want to say something?
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me to be a part of this project, and I want to say thanks to Domenico. I know Domenico from the publication, but also by a project of a laboratory in my hometown. I come from the south of Italy, from Apulia, and we did this. We had this experience in co-design for urban design process. I studied architecture in Rome at La Sapienza, and right now I'm a PhD candidate in theory and design. I do a lot of things about in the field of architectures and as a co-director of a magazine, an online magazine. But mainly I'm the director of this cultural association that is named Esperimenti Architettonici, and we do projects in a participatory way, and our aim is to engage the citizens of our hometown and develop innovative urban strategies. So, and we are basically students or young architects or engineers. So this is the background.
That's great. Who's missing? What about Noel or Jonas? Are you ready to jump in?
Yeah, go for it. So I'm Noel. I'm half French, half English. I help run a transnational network called European Alternatives. We started off as a festival, and we run and help people collaborate across borders. And one of our main activities is around helping people imagine and enact new ways of living in public spaces, which is what brought me to CivicWise. And one of our projects at the moment is understanding what barriers people face in using public spaces and working with civic designers, civic innovators that can break down those barriers. And I think those CivicWise seems to be a place where there's many people that are breaking down those barriers to help people innovate, activate in civic space.
Thank you very much. And Jonas, are you there?
I engaged a lot with the youth development specialist and youth engagement and community engagement. And,
we can't hear you very well.
you cannot hear me?
Not really.
No.
Just level up.
I think, Jonas, you just muted your microphone. Now
yes,
it's
I know.
okay.
I think in general you don't hear me very well, right? Or do you?
A little bit.
It's very low.
Very low. So okay. Jonas is chatting us that it's better if we can go ahead. Actually, in my previous introduction, I forgot to say that we have a Google Docs document, and with this document, the idea is having all the time in mind which is our agenda, but at the same time you can see in the on the bottom of the document the idea is that we can make collaborative notes, collaborative minutes of the session. So don't be shy and write whatever you want in this document, and with this way we can have a proper notes about the session. So
Dominic, I'd like to say, are you black and white for any particular reason? You just go to the 20s.
I was asking you the same. Why you are so red.
I showed you before. I'm red because I have this lovely lamp beside me, you know.
Yeah.
But have you used any filter to be black and white, or how does it work?
No,
Because
I like.
I'm very new to this.
No, I like. Yeah, I like this kind of joke. Google Hangouts offer you. You can change your image.
Ah, okay, all right.
No, don't say that. Now everyone is gonna start playing.
No.
Yeah, one black and white also.
Yeah. No, actually, there is a reason. The reason is in my house the light is very low, and actually when you turn on the black and white filter, it looks better the image. So it's why it's why I'm using this little trick.
It's looking good. It's looking good with you.
Yeah.
So, what's next? Should we just start tackling the agenda, tackling the comments? I was gonna start talking about the vision.
Yeah, no, I think it's important to say, you can see in the agenda, maybe I will tweet it, or I don't know if any of you can do it, because it would be useful for all of us to read this agenda. We have basically two important parts of the session. The first one is the part we call a co-design process. It is our discussion about how we can create the CivicWise itself. And the second part is all of these kind of executive topics or discussion we have to take in account to organize ourselves. So in this first part, the idea is having some talks about our values, our principles. I know that a lot of you want to understand more about the project, and it's quite difficult sometimes to have a very clear presentation or explanation of the project, because we are really shaping the project collaboratively. So it's why we are starting with this basically very fundamental topic, which is understand which ones are our values, our principles. I would like to start just with the first one, which is inclusivity. And after that, I would like to hear from you what you understand as values for us. And we can use as well these thoughts that Fausto shared with us by our blogs. So yeah, I think our community should be very inclusive, and we should be able to have people also with diverse opinions, let's say. So yeah, I think it's important to be inclusive, and when I say inclusive, the idea is also that I think is beyond this idea of representativity. So it is this idea that if you are creating something very horizontal and distributed, the idea is that each of us has to have the opportunity to do whatever you want, basically, with the foster of the community, based on our principles. And in this sense, the idea is that when you do something with CivicWise, you represent yourself, not a community, but you are promoting the values of the community. We can talk more about that later, but yeah, this is my first thought. I don't know if maybe Fausto, don't know, you shared this kind of a lot of talks about values. Maybe you can just share it again with us and start the conversation with that.
I guess I can add up on that. But I mean, when we bring our own views to a group, sometimes we have filter through our own prejudices, our own experience, and it is very difficult to somehow mingle with the values and principles of a group. And I think it's very important that we all maintain our own, creativity and our own ourselves, and exploit, how unique we are, and at the same time manage to exploit the community. It just crossed my mind now how we're gonna somehow bring the uniqueness of the community groups at the very bottom level into this conversation. This is when you talk about inclusiveness, I'm more worried about that everyone in society is represented. Obviously, I'm worried that our own views, everyone that participate, will be represented also. But yeah, this is a big question that we need to talk about: how we're gonna reach the bottom of society. So, somebody wants to add something on that?
For me, I think an important aspect, especially for a transnational network, but for any network with people from different backgrounds, different motivations, is empathy. So to put ourselves in the other person's shoes when they're putting forward an idea or coming up with an idea for a project, because I think that's the best way that we can understand what someone else is bringing to the table, and then what we can bring to the table, and then solidarity. I think at an individual level, so where an individual might need help on a project, and might also be able to help someone else on something else, whether it be communications or design. So to foster that constant empathy and solidarity, which links into what you were talking about, Fausto, in terms of, and Domenico, in terms of inclusiveness, to foster that as an active behaviour between people within a group, and also between different groups as well, different local groups.
I think, shall I step in?
Yeah.
I think for me there are two elements. I mean, they link very closely to what you already said, but the first one is transparency, and the second one is the concept of sharing. I think sharing, especially being a transnational network, can be really powerful because we leverage on what something has done somewhere to replicate it somewhere else. So being very and it links to transparency. So if project promoters or people who are running a project are transparent about what they do, not just about the success, but also, difficulties and problems they face and challenges, and they share that with the community, that helps other people, who might go through the same process, not to make the same mistakes, or just to know what they're encountering. So I think these two elements of transparency and sharing.
Can I make a short comment? So I think this.
Yeah, I'm done.
I think Noel and Ursula also were pointing out issues that are very connected, and I was already pointing this out in the shared document that we have on Drive. There's a question of authorship. I think that as people who deal with this kind of issue, we have to have some kind of position on, because I would rather see it as facilitating and fueling something which is already existing, and stressing our ability as expert, if this is a word, to transfer power and to give relevance to something which needs it, instead of doing something for having a certain degree of ownership over it. I think this is really connected to empathy, compassion, solidarity, and transparency.
I am taking notes actually. I put transparency, authorship is this new definition, solidarity, empathy, inclusiveness. So yeah, don't be shy.
Shall we just type in or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just on in this document. It doesn't matter if it's not very
Yeah.
well written. But the idea is just to have some reference from the discussion.
Sharing.
And
Open.
I was thinking about something we talked with Fausto about, and also with Han, which is not now connected. I hope she's hearing. We talked a lot about the value and the power of listening. So I would like to introduce this as a very strong start point of our identity and our community. First listen, and after that act. So it's very important. With Han and we were talking about this idea to shape our community based on this listening power, and try to imagine if all of us, part of this community around the world, we can walk on the street and talk with people and try to understand what people think about their own ambient and neighborhood. So could be something very powerful, because we really can understand what is happening in this on territories, and at the same time we can create new relationships with people. So I don't know, maybe Fausto, we were talking as well about that. I don't know if you want to add something.
To be honest, I would like to listen to people to see what they think about the power of listening first, and then I'll say something.
Maybe I can say something. By my experience here in Rome with another association is named Urban Experience. All the things that we do that are format for the civic engagement are mainly walking experience. So our paths are format that are called walk shows, and the basic principle is to listen all the people that you can find on the street, normal people, young and old, all the stakeholders that can interact with you during this little event that is a nomad or nomadic conversation, which everybody can interact at the microphone and can say something during the conversation, and you can also more open to something that is not predictable. So to find traces during when you discover the neighborhoods, for example, or a district in a city, you are more able to be empathic with the guy you have on not in front of you, not behind, but next to you. So there are all things that for me are very inspiring, because are able to enrich your background, and are strange conditions that make people more empathic, and people are able to reveal in public something that maybe you cannot know, because all this kind of information are mainly inside the houses. But when you walk in the street together, it's all the conditions are changing. So this is my kind of example of what it means listen a community or listen a territory.
That actually makes me think about something, if I may step in, which is I think what I would love CivicWise to become is almost also a hub for support and strength that people can look at to, for example, be empowered to start a project. Because a lot of times you might find people who have ideas, but they don't feel they would start anything by themselves, like themselves or their neighbors, like as a small group. But having the backing of a hub and a community like CivicWise would make them do that step. So if we could become that empowering entity, that would be amazing, because then we could really prove we're bringing a value to the conversation. And I think that would also make us strong in terms of, you know, when you look at always these measuring effects of how an organization is performing and stuff. If we can actually prove how many projects we enable which wouldn't have taken place because people wouldn't have dared, that would be amazing. I don't know how we can frame that in a word. It's kind of difficult, but
yeah.
Maybe someone has an idea.
Can I say something? Yeah? No?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. No. Yeah, I was listening to you, and also when I was reading the materials, there's one word that I'm kind of missing in all that. It's the word responsibility. Like in the sense that we are talking about interviewing in some realities that are potentially conflictual, and we as potential third, like external actors that we are going, in one way or another, we are going to intervene there. I think that the word responsibility, it's really important to have it really present, responsibility with the community and responsibility with which is really linked with the issue of the transparency and the issue of the listening and the issue of what Ursula was now just talking. And I don't know if you see also the importance of this, like for in equilibrium of all the others, or yeah, but not, yeah, sorry, Fausto is talking about about personal responsibility, but I'm talking about like more like responsibility as a project, or like that sometimes when you enter in some realities it's hard to don't make mistakes or to just, you know, and yeah.
I don't know what Fausto think, but when I think in this kind of responsibility, and I try to make a relationship with listening, is exactly that. Instead to be too much aware about how we can act on this kind of territory, and for that, which would be very, very important, our responsibility. I think our goal could be exactly start for the listening. The idea is, okay, just listen and don't do anything. You know, don't do anything. So this is the idea. I was just trying to do that in some workshops some weeks ago in Medellin, for instance, in Colombia. And sometimes for professional people mainly, it's quite difficult to just stay and watch and observe and listen to people without proposing any solutions. So I think this is also the idea to start with the listening.
So we are basically a recorder. Like a
Why
picture. We start as a recorder.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. Yeah, what Domenico said is very important, because I mean we are somehow expert in our fields, and between all of us, I'm sure we can just create fantastic projects and bring lovely ideas. But I mean, that's not the point. The point is that we are engaging with the people at the bottom to drive them through, to empower them, like Ursula was saying. And the way to do that, there is only one way, is to build up a relationship. And the question is, you human beings, how do you build relationships? You know, I guess that we all build relationships in a different way. But if we have to start a relationship from zero, listening is obviously the first thing to do. And yeah, when we listen, we tend to have all these thoughts, especially thinking about what you're hearing. But also, we tend to be somehow influenced by our prejudices and our values and beliefs that not allowing us to listen, which is funny enough. So yeah, if we could concentrate 100%, or at least, let's say, 80% of our brain in the listening action, we might end up connecting, which is what we are after. And to practice that, even we thought that we know how to listen, will require a lot of practice. It will require years and years of focusing on proper effective listening skills. So yeah, it's just, in other words, it's like not having an agenda or trying to be neutral, which is literally impossible. But try not to, yeah, because what Frederick, no, sorry, Domenico, I changed your name. What Domenico, it's because I have a workmate is called Federico. What Domenico was saying is that, I mean, as soon as we open our mouth, we are changing the conversation, and we are influencing the answers of the speaker. And we just need to shut up sometimes. I mean, we just need to listen. Shut up, listen, show that you're there, that you're present with your body language, with some or maybe just doing some sentences like that you want to extract more information, but never trying to put your view on that, at least at the beginning, because obviously once you develop the relationship, there's more fluent, there's more confidence, you're going to get quality information. But if you don't listen from the beginning purely, you miss losing that connection. Yeah, that's my take on that.
Can I play the devil's advocate or be provocative? Because, I mean, I agree with everything we said, but having worked on community-led projects, one of the main challenges is representation, because obviously there is always someone that starts a project, and if they are in good faith and they're really willing to make it inclusive, they'll try to talk to as many people as possible. But where do you draw a line for, because any project might create negative externalities for some part of the community. So how do we tackle that? Because obviously it's easy to say we want to make everyone happy, we want everyone to listen to everyone, but it's very, very rare to be able to get to that. So how do we, I'm just throwing a question or a stimulus of a conversation which is very pragmatic. How do we do that? Like, will we provide people with tools, support, information? Like, how do we make that happen? Or how do we minimize that risk?
I think we can minimize the risk understanding this listening as a very important step, not just the only step. I don't know if. So,
I think maybe we can give people the right to listen, or tell them, well, not tell them, but show, like, with some best examples, or you know, sometimes it's about, because recording opinions is not easy, and having the engagement tools might be interesting, or, you know, just like giving them practical ways. I don't know if this is now going too much into the detail, but I think how do we then translate that into practice is important. So it's not just about a listening, which is conceptual, but it's also listening translated into practical actions.
Can I add something about listening? So I was listening and I was thinking I can see how this would work in a face-to-face situation or in a public space project. I think people very quickly understand the best ways to listen, the best ways to communicate with each other, whether that's through sensing their body language or sensing how people react, and there are definitely examples that we can use, and I think ourselves practicing our values is probably the best way of showing people what we mean by those values. But I think one of the challenges is how we do that online, and obviously CivicWise isn't just an online network, but there is a difference between communicating, listening, practicing all the values we're talking about online and doing it face to face. And it's much more difficult to do it online because we don't have the full set of senses to be able to detect from other people, to be able to show that we're listening, if that makes sense.
yeah. I suggest as well to introduce new concepts, just to go ahead, because the idea today is not to get all the platform, all the approach of CivicWise solved. It's just to open and try to understand what kind of wide idea we can have about our values and principles. I see that people from Carpevia, from Valencia, is here. Would be great if we can hear and see them. Hello, Carpevia. I don't know if Jonathan and company are there.
Hi, can you listen to me?
Hello, Jonathan.
Say hello, Irene.
Say hello.
Hello,
Hey,
Irene.
we were listening because we know that it's very important to know how to listen the rest of people. And we also are late, and then I think it's important to listen the rest of people in the team.
Are you in La Carpeta?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you introduce yourself personally, and what is Carpevia and as well La Carpeta?
Yeah. Okay. I am Jonathan. She's Irene. We are part of Carpevia. We are a group of architects here in Valencia. We are working in urban innovation tools and projects here in Spain. And we have also several links with Amsterdam or London, several projects in outside, like, for example, CivicWise. We are part also of this project, but since we are in Spain, we cannot always be being involved in at the same level as the rest of the team there in London, maybe, but our idea here in Valencia is to start making a local group of CivicWise here in Valencia, but very linked to London always, with London.
We will talk actually also about that, because to understand this idea of circles, we have to talk as well about principles. I'm just curious. I think it's interesting if you can talk about La Carpeta.
Yeah,
Very quickly, very quickly.
yeah, we have recently we have recently opened here an space called La Carpeta. This is like our office, but we want to make of this space something more open, where we want to involve a big network we have here in Valencia and in Spain. And we think that this space could be like a laboratory for CivicWise in local terms for Valencia. And then we are thinking about making a presentation and starting this group here. And I don't know, if it would be great if we start making this work. If some of you also want to come here to Spain and be part of this project, this local CivicWise. You are all invited always, eh?
Can you send a link?
What? Sorry?
Can you send a link of your
yes
page, something here?
Yes.
So I think this contribution from Carpe Via is also a great excuse to talk a little bit about circles, which is this distributed governance we are using for CivicWise. I think there is some noise. Alberto, okay, thanks, Alberto. Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's important. Sorry, it's important to talk about circles, because actually the idea is when you became a member of CivicWise, at the same time actually you are accepting a sort of values or principles of CivicWise community. So at the same time, when you are talking and you're promoting CivicWise, so it should be clear which are our values, and at the same time how these values and these principles work with circles. For instance, in terms, just to explain better what I mean. For instance, when we talk about inclusiveness, if we translate this concept to how circles work, does mean that you can have several circles in the same city, because you don't understand yourself as a representative of the CivicWise on your city. So you have, for example, now we started with this circle in London, but having this circle in London doesn't mean that other people can start another circle in London, because this is the inclusiveness is also that. Of course, it's better when we are all of us together, but sometimes also for the dimensions or whatever, people want to start another circle. So I think our position should be okay. Let's go it. It doesn't matter if we are two in the same place. So at the same time, it's also for the topics, because as you know, I think if you read our last post on the blog, the idea is that you can start a new circle based on your territory, your city, your neighborhood, or wherever you are. But as well, you can start a circle based in a topic. So when you start this circle about a topic, the idea is that it's not that you are the representative of this topic. You can have other people creating topics and working on this in the same topic. I don't know if I am clear about that.
No.
Jonathan?
Yes, yes. Okay. I think it's clear. We were thinking about the idea of, because we don't know if we are talking today about values and principle of CivicWise, and then I was thinking that with these different circles and local circles, uh, probably these values can be different for no, or I mean, every circle, every single circle can develop new kind of principles or values, or the idea is having a general frame for all the circles of CivicWise.
I don't know what do you think the rest of you. I think we should have a very wide core principles, not very specifics, because I think each circle could have other specific principles, because otherwise there is not independent, because also it's important to say that each circle is independent, so you can do whatever you want in your circle. So the idea is just that you understand that you are part of a global community, so you can share knowledge and you can share connections and synergies and create most interesting projects, or but is independent. In any circle is independent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I be provocative, Domenico?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your statement makes me think that defining core principles and values is maybe we only have one principle, which is fostering civic engagement, and then all the ways this is declined in the different circles, this will emerge through the time and especially through the practice, because you can, of course, discuss, and it's a matter of getting to know each other and what you think, what's your approach, but then it's going to be the real things that happen in practice that are going really to physically shape the conception of the whole group.
I like this provocation, but I I don't know, what do you think?
Did I kill the conversation? I'm not saying that it's useless, of course, what we're doing. Actually, it's the opposite. But maybe, yeah, we can really push what Domenico was saying, that every circle is actually independent, and there can be many circles in the same city. So this somehow defines the topic that we need to talk about, I guess.
Yeah, I like the idea, because in terms of inclusiveness, in that way is the best way to achieve inclusiveness. Maybe we can have. I like this focus, this approach. We can have this first very strong concept, and we can just suggest some kind of approach, or I don't know. For example, this idea about listening could be just a suggestion. Actually, because it's also true that we cannot, and I think we shouldn't control what people are doing, and so.
Yeah, I am agree on that, but I am scared. I want to be also I want to be also provocative. I want to be also provocative. I am scared because if this is very, 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 very wide, maybe just for being provocative, maybe we can lose a bit of the strength of the project. I mean, of the no. It's another suggestion I want to make. But I don't know. What do you think on that?
I think that we need to make ourselves distinctive because there's many communities, many networks, including transnational networks, that say they're fostering civic engagement, and many people who are part of those different networks and dedicate different energy to that. So I suppose we need at least one value which can really grab people that are interested in a particular approach of fostering civic engagement. So I think something like listening is a very different approach, at least in the way it's articulated, to other communities, which are much more about do it first and then discover, and then understand. I mean, listening might not be. We might want to find a word that includes other principles as well as listening, but we want to find something that, that grabs people emotionally, that they want to stick, they want to get involved because it's more than just the other communities they're involved with.
Yeah, I think it's important what you are saying, Noel. So if you want, because we have as well to be very effective in this kind of meeting, what I can suggest is that we can open based on our Google Docs document for the session. We can open a Google Doc document and we can write all of the principle we discussed today, and at the same time we let people suggest other principles. What we need for that actually is people caring about the document, which is something we will discuss in the second part of this meeting. Actually, the way we can structure ourselves in terms of governance, in terms of to be effective in our decisions, in our works, could be having people caring about specific things. Caring is not something who is taking decisions or who is creating a sort of hierarchical approach. It's just someone who is very pay attention and is very caring about specific things. So it would be very useful if we can have today one and maybe more of us caring about this document. So to be clear, the idea is before our next meeting, which will be in 2 weeks because we have Easter in between, we should have this document and we should create an wide agreement about around this document. So we need people, all of us, adding our opinion in terms of principles, but at the same time we need one or more people caring about it, editing this document, and allow us to have a final document. Actually, I was thinking that Fausto could be a good one for that, but just right now is not connected.
He left in time.
Yeah. I don't know if also you can ask all the people watching this streaming if there is someone who is interested in being this person would be great. We can have a look at the hashtag. You can tweet be carer of core principles. I don't know if some of you in this chat, no one. I'm sorry. Okay, so we will wait for Fausto. Maybe it could be our person, and I think could be useful if we can go ahead to the second part of the meeting. I'm just looking for the agenda. Okay, so the second part of the meeting is very executive, let's say. So we have to take a lot of decisions. So actually, we can start for this idea about carers. I don't know if I'm pronouncing well. Carers. I don't know, carers. So we have here in the agenda some proposal, for instance, communication, governance, academia, circles, competitions, legal, money. So I would like just to explain more about it. So, for example, for instance, communication would be useful if we can have one or more people caring about communication. Communication is in terms of internal, I mean internal and external communication. How care about how we can share information within the community, but at the same time how we can share our work to people who is not part of our community. So, for instance, right now we know there is a website, there is a blog, but we started as well to use this Slack platform that allows us to have internet communication very, I think it's working quite well. I don't know what you think. But we still need someone who care about how we can improve our communication, and I don't know if there is someone between you. I also remind that you can say that also by Twitter, because we are looking at it by Twitter, or directly in this document. If at that moment, right now, I mean, no one say anything, we can yeah, we can wait and we can take this decision late. I mean, during these 2 weeks, we have to find people caring about these different things. So we have as well for example, legal. If there is some lawyer between you, would be very useful. And we have as well academia. The idea is, for example, when we talk about academia, the idea is having someone who is thinking about how we can create partnership and how we can create, for instance, research projects or research group. So this person is working on that. And you have as well other one, which is about circles. This was a suggestion. I don't know if were you Alberto. Someone told me about that actually it's important to have some people that can explain and we can relate with when someone wants to start a new. Was Jonas actually? I think was proposing that. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. So it would be useful if someone is just doing these tasks. You know, when it's like a sort of also welcoming task. So you can explain how you can create a new circle, how it works, and distributing any information you need, and I think this would be very useful. We have as well another important task, which is about competitions. or let's say as well money. See how we can deal with money, and looking for some kind of formal structure that allows us to manage money and earn money, and we can do that creating as, I don't know, a business plan or something like that, and as well try to take part on competitions.
Sorry, can I ask a question on this? Money as revenue, or like anything related to, cash flow, so also the incoming money?
I think
outgoing.
It's very general.
Payment. Okay.
For now, it's very general. The idea is as well that in this idea of inclusiveness, you can have someone caring about general things, and at the same time you can have other people caring about specific things, also if they are related.
So these different carers, will they be within a circle, or they could potentially be like overarching different circles in different regional groups?
Actually, yeah, could be a very good idea understanding this kind of topics, like a circles. Yeah. So we can have, you mean money circle, for instance, or legal circle?
Well, I don't think they necessarily have to be circles. I think it makes sense that they can be, for example, they don't have to apply for it. So not in every circle you will have to have carers for each part. You can also have, like in a small, for example, okay, let's take a practical example. You've got a country, and then there are different cities, so you've got different circles in the different cities, but they might want to share, things like legal and money, because it's the same system. Possibly also academia, because they might have contacts in different cities. So you might have carers that spread over different regional circles, and if it grows a lot, then you will have more people taking care of that. I mean, or do we want to? It's a question I'm throwing. I'm not saying it has to be that, or it can be something like every circle makes sure that I have someone that takes care of these different topics. Does that make sense?
I don't know if I understand properly. Actually,
can I add something maybe?
Yeah.
So I was wondering if it's somehow effective to have legal, for example, responsible person, one for the whole CivicWise thing, and also for the funding, because I believe that in every country the systems are different. So I don't expect this person to know everything about every single specificity from Mexico to the Netherlands. So maybe it's worth to discuss this at the local level, at the national level. I think this is also what Ursula was saying.
I think thanks, Alberto. You gave a really good example. I mean, legal and money will have to be at least like national, because there will be different systems. There are other topics like communication and governance that can be overarching different countries, because they apply like the same rules apply. So we might want to differentiate between these two type of topics, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So let's try to select which one we can have right now. For example, governance. I think governance is very, very important, and communication is important, and yeah, we can start with that, and we will see. For example, I will be happy to care about governance. And I can help as well with communication. So I think it's very, very important if more people could be.
I'm putting them in a column so that you can add your name. Academia is in context to the academic world, or
it's academia / research. It's try to
Shall we then have also things like local authorities? Because
of course.
If we start to say, different stakeholders, then we can have different topics for which is local authorities, or how can we say public sector, maybe together. Not necessarily.
So meanwhile, I just remember that any suggestion by Twitter or comments about our values and principles are still important. So because the idea today is we just started with this discussion, and we have to promote the discussion, and we start today, and the idea is finished in 2 weeks. So now we have the. I tweeted by CivicWise account, Twitter account, the link to our doc, Google Doc. So you can add whatever you want, and we can have a more collaborative edit. So you can also add yourself directly. So if there is any of you that want to be involved on communication or academia, local authority, civil, etc., you can do it. So maybe we can go directly on, if there is no more interventions about that, we can go to the tasks. So I can put also.
Can I make a brief comment on this division of tasks, the carers? I think that maybe everyone is a bit silent, because maybe we need to first understand who is where, so who we can connect physically with. I think that could help a lot in sharing the different opportunities and also responsibilities in this. So maybe we can do a short wrap up of putting people together in
like geographically.
Exactly, because that's I mean, Google Hangout of course is very fine, but
yeah.
Good point.
Good point.
I'm in London. I start.
I'm in London as well. Actually, we have a new guest here.
Anne.
Actually, Anne. Okay, I don't know if you want to say your real name or your nickname. I didn't say anything. I can hear you.
Hello.
Okay. Hello,
Andrea. From Brussels.
You want
the nickname
to
is NEVM.
Okay, sorry. Maybe you could introduce yourself?
Well, yes. But again, Andrea from Brussels, Scarbeck. I work in IT actually, so not more than this. I get in contact with Domenico thanks to a local activity with Commons. And then I get to interview him for getting some inspiration, and I get trapped by him. I cannot say more than this.
Could you add something about, I don't know, because you were late, I don't know if you want to add something about Principle, because you did a lot of work as well on that. I don't know if you want to add something.
Surely I align with the idea of inclusiveness. That was one of the reasons why I got in contact with Domenico. We actually branched a local group because one of the issues we faced was actually the group was unable to deliver communication transparency toward us, and therefore I'm a father of two and pretty busy in terms of work, so it's not easy to collaborate with groups. So we felt very excluded by this. Within the interview with Domenico, it was clear that he was proposing a way to include people even if they were silent or sideways towards projects, and this was very interesting to me because I was able to commit to some activity, but not in a stable fashion. So disabling me to get the information was actually excluding me for the full project, even though I was from time to time able to collaborate. So that was one of the traps that attracted me from this project. And for the rest, the principles for me are indeed from a specific angle. I'm doing a bit of enterprise architecture on my place, so I was more in a methodological approach. So voila.
Okay. Anyway, maybe I can trap you in this. We were talking about this person who care about a principal document. As you worked a lot on that because you shared with us a document about principles, even if very focused on IT, I think would be useful your help on that. If you agree, we can have you.
which is actually the proposal, Domenico?
The proposal is actually we want to create a principal document based on what we discussed today, and we need just some people caring about that, about this document, because we'll be collaborative, but on the time we need someone caring about.
Yeah, that's fine for me.
Okay. So we have one at least. Okay. So coming back on what Alberto said, I think it's very useful to share our geographical position. I don't know, Noel, Saverio.
London.
Rome.
Merce.
Yeah, I'm right now I'm in Lancaster, and I will be between Lancaster and Manchester for the next 2 years. But I'm going to be reaching all this with the people in Bilbao. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, I can say since by our website there is this form you can fill if you want to be a CivicWise. We defined ourselves, and we have a lot of people around the world coming and joining us. And I can say that, for instance, right now we have several people in Amsterdam, several people in Barcelona, several people Madrid as well. So I don't know if it could be useful. What we can do is maybe put you in contact. So people living in the same city, maybe we can put you in contact, and you can start the discussion, and you can do whatever you think.
Yeah, the same city and the same country also.
Yeah. Yes, in country there is more connections. Yeah, I can say there is people from Italy, France, Spain, Colombia, Brazil, Belgium, Mexico, Italy. I don't know. I forgot something, but right now I don't remember. So yeah, Alberto, I think we can do that. What do you think? Put people in contact with the same city.
I think it's a very good idea because in between these general online meetings, we can also have some local meetings, and then of course you work out through time the intersection between the two. But it's a practical take on starting to meet other people. I think if you share that information with locals, it's very useful.
Perfect. Actually, for all of you that you have access to our Google Drive folder, the information is there. But I can share with you this specific information. Just to say, this is what I mean when I talk about people caring about things. If we have some way, someone caring about communication could look for this information and share this information. So I think in the future we can have this kind of carers more clearly organized. And we have some specific task to talk. There is some noise. I don't know. Maybe it's Ursula. Okay, right now the idea is to talk about some specific task. Let's start with communication. So first, I would like to say that it's impressive because a lot of you just confirmed that you want to collaborate in these communication tasks, and we have people offering themselves in terms of help for with the newsletter, with Twitter, with Facebook, and so it's very this is great. Now we just need to coordinate that because you just expressed your intention to help with that. So now we have to organize that, and as we received a lot of people interested in help with the writing articles. I think would be a good idea if we start with a magazine. So I think could be something very, very useful and something will help to create our own identity in terms of community. So the idea is we will have the blog and the magazine. The blog is just offering information about how we work on this co-design process. It's the useful information about how we are building ourselves. And the magazine is more about writing about civic engagement, so references, so create a powerful and very useful and interesting magazine with the help of all of us. So far we have already 14, if I don't, yeah, I think 14 people, 1/4, and which is enormous. So we can have a very good quantity of content for the blog. So so in this case, I'm proposing myself as a carer of this magazine, but would be very welcome if any one of you want to join this project. So I will care about the creation and the coordination of this magazine, and so I will contact all of you. Was expressed the intention to write about civic engagement and topics related with our interest, and we will start to create this magazine. So we have. I know that now in our discussion we are very few people, so we are not able to find a carer for each of these tasks. So again, we just express the need we have, and we keep this document, and with the following 2 weeks you can add your help if you want to be a carer. So we need someone for the blog, someone for the newsletter, for Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I don't know if there is some people interested on that.
I can be a carer for local authorities.
Great.
That helps.
Great. So, Twitter, Ursula, do you? Sorry.
As I said before, what I'm doing now is curating the Italian accounts of CivicWise on Twitter and Facebook, and by now I can do this not more because I'm very full. So
perfect. Actually, it's a you're doing very well. It's amazing.
No, I know, but it's not so a big thing. I mean, I want to do more, but not in this space.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on. This is the idea. So we have as well now this is very quite urgent. How we can coordinate competition. So here I just put some suggestions. We have this European Social Innovation Competition. There is the European Cultural Foundation project, which is very, very interesting. Noel maybe know better about it. There is Nominated Trust, which is very UK oriented, and there is this We Share Awards. So maybe Noel, could you, because I think you know more, about.
So we're European Alternatives was funded from the first Idea Camp from European Cultural Foundation. So it's a new model for grant funding, which starts off with people putting project proposals. They can be individuals or groups, and then the top 50 are shortlisted to go to a week-long idea camp, where the outcome is that they then launch a new call for proposals on the same theme, but only for those 50 shortlisted proposals. But the proposals have to collaborate with at least one other proposal. So what they're trying to look at is how to fund collaborations, not projects. And so I think the CivicWise approach, it would be one, very good for CivicWise to put in a proposal to the ECF, because the theme is around building the city and building the commons. And secondly, because it would enable CivicWise, if shortlisted, to be able to connect with other groups working on that, and to collaborate in terms of the projects that it works on. So, for example, our project is in a networked collaboration with 3 other projects. So it means that rather than us developing, we're doing that, sharing our own methods with 3 other projects, and we're learning and applying methods in our communities from 3 other projects. So I think it would be a really good opportunity for CivicWise.
And Noel, the strategy, if I understand properly, the strategy would be not just present the CivicWise project itself, presenting something else. What do you think?
It's a good question. I would say that you would this framework in terms of how you're going to develop the project, or how you put forward how you will develop the project. But the project would need to have a specific focus, and in particular in specific local areas, and the specific focus on how you're going to build the commons in a specific way in specific neighborhoods, but using the CivicWise approach to do that.
Okay. Now is the good question. Could you help with that?
Yeah, I can definitely help with looking at what would make the ECF evaluate the bids highly. I can definitely help with that. But it'd be good to have some specific project ideas from different people that are rooted in, in local areas, and in specific impact that is relevant to that bid, and then use the CivicWise framework to develop the as the methodology for the project. But I'm happy to help.
Perfect. So I put just on the document me and you for this.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, more people are welcome. So I don't know if you know also more about the European Social Innovation Competition, which involves also Nesta and other organizations. So no, we just now we have just this this one. Maybe in our post on the blog we can put the link on this competition, so more people could know more about it, and we can find hopefully someone who care about this competition. There is also this Nominate Trust in UK. I will put as well the link, and maybe Ursula, you can talk about We Share Awards. You have to switch on your microphone. Also.
Yeah, sorry, I was just typing on the other
okay.
browser. Yeah, just give me a second. I finished typing and.
Okay. So I can explain. So there is actually we have a very good feeling with people from We Share, and We Share is promoting now these awards. So it's interesting because you can actually the award is oriented on helping a new idea to get real. So they don't offer money. They offer their community, and they offer consulting, and they offer a very I think interesting week session. So the winner have the opportunity to work with professional experts about the project, and they do that in this place in Paris. I think it's in the in the peripheric area, so you have people working together and sharing a lot. And I talked with some of the winners the last year, and they were very happy with the experience. And there is also this designing the urban commons, which is where Pablo is just tonight in the presentation of this competition. In terms of money, it's not very interesting because it's just 200 pounds, 300 pounds, sorry. But yeah, as is promoted by LC, and would be interesting in terms of creating connection with local organization here in UK. So also, I don't know if you want to say something about We Share Awards, or we go ahead.
Yeah, I can just briefly. I opened the document that I was that I shared last week. Yeah, I think I have a really good feeling about it, because there are two. You have to. So they have different awards within this We Share Awards umbrella, and I think we can. If you click on the link, you can also have a look. But my feeling is that we can apply or have good chances for the Collaborative Consumption Award, which is sharing economy, and the Charitaries Award. And then if you scroll in the different criteria to participate, which I think we need to choose, I was looking at commons, for the level 1, the commons, and for the level 2, the shaping collaborative cities. So that was my idea, but if you feel that we could apply for other other awards within this We Share award, please let me know. And if you also want to work together on drafting the application, say now, raise your hand, because I will be working on it in the next days. But if someone wants to do it together, I'm happy to share that.
Perfect. So
oh yeah, sorry, because I forgot to say that the deadline is next Tuesday, so
yeah, it's very.
Hence the urgency.
For the other ones, we have more time actually, but this one is very urgent. So now we have funding and money. Maybe we can connect with donation system. So we were thinking about how we can have a little help in terms of money, and we think it would be useful having a donation system. We don't know exactly what kind of donation system. I don't know if you have any suggestion. Of course, the most easy way is PayPal, but PayPal as well is need some fee. So I don't know if you have any other suggestion. Would be useful. In terms of money, right now we don't have a lot of expenses, but if we could have some money, it would be very useful. For instance, for our website, because or maybe we don't need money. If there is some developer or programmer hearing us, would be useful, because what we need is to install 2 different tools which are open source. So we haven't to pay for the tools, but we don't know how to install these tools in our server. So there is a way to pay someone. Actually, these tools are open source, as I said, but if you want you can pay, for instance, $100, and they install the tool in your server. So yeah, if we don't find someone who can help with this install procedure. Actually, I don't know if Andrea, I don't know if you, because we talked a little bit, but I don't know if at the end you are able to do that.
Well, I hadn't time to give it a try, but it was not appearing very complex, the installation. So I will definitively give it a try. Granted, we are going to use it.
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe something that could help would be making a list of things we need with how much it would cost if we had to pay for them. So an example, you know, if it's something technical, someone to develop this bit. So either someone could offer it in kind, or if we had to pay for it, would be like £100, and then we can, you know, see either someone pays the whole of it or we divide it. So have a list, maybe a breakdown of the costs that we either have to encounter or would need. Maybe it's.
Yeah, no, it's actually a very nice idea. We should have an inventory, a catalog of what we need.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's also a way to have goals which could attract people on very minimal and punctual tasks. So yeah, to give the opportunity, you can give funding or you can give a hand with the knowledge that you have, and then it's more open, I think.
Yeah, it's a good idea. So the idea is create a sort of goals document or how we can do it.
You know, I don't know, this is a very cultural thing, but in Italy, where I'm originally from, some people, when people get married, they have like a wish list. We could do that.
We make a wedding list.
A wedding list, exactly.
Or wish list. No, wish list is actually really
yeah,
nice,
wish
I
list
think.
is fair enough, right?
So we stay with wish list.
Yeah.
Okay. So we create this wish list. We can put it on the notes. So.
Maybe we can create a separate document, and you know, we can fill it in the, like, from now till the next meeting, and then next meeting we can start to pick.
But you mean just for the wish list or for the all the
Yeah. Have a separate document for the wish list.
Yeah. No, I was just noting we have to do that.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you wanted to do the wish list.
No.
Gotta go in a minute.
The wish list.
Just a quick question, Domenico. Is not actually the set of protocols or steps that are going to help us to go through this complex project, to define it, no? So we are going to speak about inventory. We are going to speak, we're speaking about principles. We're speaking.
Yeah.
So actually, which are the next steps, and when we are going to shape it in detail?
I don't know if I understand properly.
So we are now discussing about principles, values.
Yeah.
That makes sense. We are going to we already jump into the set of items we need to go further.
Yeah.
We defined the communication and a lot of areas. So, but so for a moment I understood that we are going to use a set of steps that you define within those 10 steps.
Yeah.
To go through also to make them at a proof of our own project.
Yeah. So the idea is we each weekly hangout has two different parts. One is working on this co-design process, and the other one is dealing with these executive things.
All right.
So today the first part was talking about principles, was the co-design process, and now we are dealing with these kind of executives and governance things. So it's true that they are related. They are related, but we have this separation. So next meeting will be in 2 weeks because there is Easter. So with next meeting we will continue with these executive things because all the time we have, and the co-design process will be centered on. I don't remember. We have the calendar. I think the first. We have to start with the first step of the process, which is open.
Okay.
So next meeting will be this hour of discussion will be dedicated in how we understand the initial part of any project. Right now, I figure out that it's very related with this. I don't know. You maybe you don't heard about that, but we talk a lot about listening. So I think I guess that with our next meeting we are talking about the first step of the process, and I think we will talk about listening. I don't know. Could be this one.
Okay, thanks.
I have one question. This community needs to take shape as an association, internationally considered, recognized.
Yeah. No, we don't know yet. We don't know yet, but this is a good point. Actually, today, talking with Ursula, we were also thinking about that, because when we talk about money, you don't know. Yeah, you have to have some kind of formal figure. So far, what we know is that we want to be formal, which is important. So this community should have a formal structure. What we don't know so far is what kind of structure we will choose.
Which is the best one.
Yeah. So
I know that the WeShare network is an international association, right? But I don't know which is the protocol to be one. The costs, I don't know something about that.
I don't know neither exactly which is the formal structure of the WeShare. What I know is that they have different formal structure in each country.
Ah, okay.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe also know more about that.
No, I don't actually. No. Sorry, I don't want to be the bothering one, but I have to leave in a minute, and I'm concerned about the last point. I don't necessarily have to be part of the conversation, so if you guys want to draft the list of communication materials, I can have a look at it afterwards, or if or we can do it now quickly if you guys have to go quite soon as well. I mean, I can stick for another 5 minutes, but no longer than that. So
I think we can do that.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
Sorry for that. It's just...
No.
It's a strange time, like 8 to 10 in Europe.
Yeah. So could you also explain the points?
Yeah. So the last point, managing presentation collaborations, comes up from the acknowledgement that people is starting to get interested in CivicWise, and they ask, well, I'm sure Domenico was in the same position, but I've been asked, oh, can you present CivicWise here and there, different networks? And I think it would be good to have a set of documents that the whole community can use, whether they have to, talk about CivicWise in an email or present it like to our audience, or go to a meeting. So something that it's that we can all share, and it's consistent, and it's so we don't have to start a new draft every time. And the idea for today was to make a list, or start to make a list of documents that we think we need. And when we have that list, people can take them and say, okay, I'm going to draft these and that. Is that clear?
Okay.
So we have to, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Fausto reappeared. Hello, Fausto. Did you have to trade the energy, the electricity to the lamp, back to the lamp?
I think he had a dimmer. He had a dimmer.
You don't want to know what happened to me.
No,
it's very silly. But I plugged the computer into the main. I forgot to press the button.
No, we can. No. Yeah. We're not able to hear you. Yeah, we talk later. Fausto.
Yeah. Okay. So so far, we thought no, we didn't actually start listing, but we can now. So I'll start with I'll call it PowerPoint, but it doesn't have to be PowerPoint. I mean, it can be anything else. Presentation about project. We have that, don't we?
Yeah, we have the first presentation. Actually, I created at the very beginning, but we need to change it because it's very yeah.
Okay, maybe an email draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, email to present the project.
So I would just to say for all of us that there are Jonathan and Javier from Lugadero, and Jonathan was just we met just before from Carpevia. They are working on this in our graphic identity. So I think sooner we will have a very good graphic documents, and so far as well you already I think had the opportunity to see our illustrations by Jonathan and some graphics by Javier. So the idea as well with this kind of document is that any of us, wherever we are, we can maybe create some event to present CivicWise. So it's not just when people ask for that. Maybe we can start with this kind of presentation. For instance, I will be in Paris because a friend of mine invited me to present there in April, CivicWise.
Yeah, and also people can customize it to specific, like they can use that as a template, the existing, and customize it minimally. So it's the effort is much lower.
Good.
Okay, that's it.
So I don't know. You have any more suggestions about what kind of documents we need? Would be very useful a video. I don't know. We can put there if anyone want to help with the video. Would be.
Well, maybe Mark, because it's not something that we need. You know, we have a deadline for. So maybe if at his convenience, whenever he has some spare time, he can work on it.
Yeah, why not? We can put. But anyway, if anyone more want to work on it, let's say that we have these interviews from our first kickoff event in London, which are very, very powerful, I think, and with that we can create a sort of promotional video. So let's see if anyone wants to work on that. It would be very useful.
I think also that are useful the like the panels that I found on Twitter, like CivicWise is something is written on a wall. So is the wall of CivicWise. We can build like a first mosaic maybe that we can use. It's something very funny, very something to start to communicate.
We have that. It's somewhere in Drive. It's in the launch, London launch, under pictures. There is one which is called Composite, I think.
But we will have that in a mosaic format?
Well, we have it in the W form.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
Which is kind of like a mosaic.
I go to watch.
Yeah.
And actually, we can put on the list this document that Jonathan already did, which is the steps, the 10 steps, graphical represented. Maybe we have to improve with some kind of very quickly explanation for each step. So we can improve this graphic with little text in each step. And there is also this document that Jonathan did about the tools we are using right now, like this one, Google Hangout, or the forum, or the Slack, this kind of. That maybe this one is not so much necessary. I don't know, because it's more internal. Yeah, I don't know. So step on the document steps graphic. That's him. I don't know.
I think that I can say more is that I want to remember that I am one of the ambassadors of the European Youth Award. It's a kind of it's a festival based on social innovation, and is a competition for under 30 people. So I don't know if we want to use this as an opportunity. There is a network behind that festival that could be useful for us. So maybe we can kind of try to join this network.
I think the idea is, if you can do that, do it.
Yeah, but I just see the detail that is under 30.
Yeah.
And so for a competition, there is this rule. To join a network, to make collaboration, is more free, of course. I just take here the link.
Actually, hopefully you are under 30, no?
Yes. Yeah. Just for 1 year. I'm also arrived. Okay.
So maybe we can, if there is no more. Hello? Sí. Yeah. Go ahead. It's Pablo.
Hello, I'm back. Black and white?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So I was saying, if there is...
I'm going to bring a chair.
There is not more... What do you think, Ursula, about this point?
I was about to head off. Sorry. Yeah, no, I think it's a good start. And to be honest, I think we can leave it because there might be more things that come up to our mind, so we can add them. But yeah, it's good that we start this process because as soon as we have that, it will be able to engage people because, as I said, the effort they need to put in, or even for them to understand what it's all about. I mean, we're already spreading the word so quickly, and that will help in making that happen even quicker. So it's great, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. On this note, I say bye because I really have to shoot off. I'll keep in the loop with what you come up with afterwards. Have a good evening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Laura, I don't know if you want to share something about your event very quickly, or.
Oh, I was in this event today in LSC. It was well, there's this competition which is called Design the Urban Commons that the Teatro Mundi is organizing. Teatro Mundi is an organization by LSC, which is run by a group of young researchers. It was funded by Richard Sennett, but it's run basically by young researchers and they're launching a competition, which is quite interesting, about how new designs, new platforms, like it's very open. For what can I say, is really, really open.
Okay.
How they are changing the way, I mean, how they are producing the commons, let's say.
Yeah, no, because we are here since 2 hours, so.
You've talked about the competition already.
Yeah, no, I want just to know what is your impression about it, and if you found it interesting, if you want to be a carer of this.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure. We have until the 1st of May.
Okay.
So I think it's a good opportunity. I mean, the price is very low; it's only £300.
Yeah.
But it will be shown in the V&A, the Victoria Library Museum, and in the new London Architecture Festival or something like that, on the Festival of Architecture. So yeah, it's good. So who's online, by the way?
Yeah, there is some new entry,
okay.
At least in video, because we had some conversation by digital sphere.
Mm-hmm.
So would you present yourself? Would be just to finish the session very quickly, just the name maybe and where you are, just for Pablo.
Okay.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Hey Pablo, my name is Alberto and I am based in Amsterdam at the moment.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, my name is Saverio. I'm based in Rome, Italy, and work sometimes in my hometown in Puglia, in the south of Italy.
You're Saverio Massaro?
Yeah.
Oh, you tweet a lot, yeah.
Good job.
It's my job.
Andrea?
Hello, Andrea, LEVM as nickname, from Brussels.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Pablo. I'm from Spain, but I'm based in London now.
Yeah, I'm Fausto from Spain, Valencia, but based in London.
So Fausto.
Nice.
All Londoners.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of people.
Italians, all Londoners.
How we can close the session, Fausto?
Concluding words.
Well, there's always an easy one. Let's talk about feelings. Let's talk about how we felt, how the session went, but yeah, let's be honest. Come on. I mean, I'm not in the best position because I missed part of it, so I'm a bit lost now. But come on, if somebody start with a loop, I guess I can say something at the very end. Come on, start left to right, Alberto. You go.
Okay, I will start. I think it has been partly organized, part messy. Personally, I really enjoy the messy part. I think it's the really good part of the process, which opens the most possibilities. And yeah, I think my task in the next days will be to try to connect with people here in Amsterdam and try to see what can happen and what can we meet. I'm very happy about it though.
Well, but then me is my first hangout with you, and I'm still enthusiastic about this participation. So it's true there was a bit of a unstructured moment, were very interesting, and I'm looking forward also to have to see the shape that this will take.
I will say I'm surprised because was quite productive actually. It was a mess the session, but we were able to make some important decisions, and what will be very important now is how we can follow up this work we did in this session. So my task, I think, will be foster and yeah, try to get the more value from this session, organizing the information that allows all of us and all of you to continue the discussion we started today.
Okay, so I'm the next one.
Why not?
Yeah, because Fausto is the last. No, it's my second hangout, so I feel that sometimes there are two speeds, two velocities, because in some moments there are, of course, the things are more blurred, not so clear, but in other moments we are very, as I say, practical. So we are very focused. So to do something, we know what we need exactly for I don't know, the next week, for example. So it's interesting this stay between these two speeds, minute by minute. So I think it will be a kind of constant of this kind of project. I don't know what to expect exactly, but I know that every time we will have kind of theoretical conversation, very general about principles, for example, and very practical to do things, such as web or items, tools. So it's interesting. There's a lot to learn, for sure.
Yeah, and following on Saverio, yeah, I think is such an incredible experience just to be with you guys and listen to you and learn a lot, because every single time we just gather together, every single time we see new faces, and yeah, we listen to people is just an amazing experience. Uh, I'm really looking forward to finish and watch the streaming again to find out what are the decisions that you made, because I missed that bit. Because yeah, when just Alberto was saying something very interesting, he was saying, yeah, let's keep foster civic engagement as the main value, and then crash, you know. So yeah. Anyway, I don't think
You will have
that's the important. That's not the important bit. The important bit is that then more people coming in and bringing energy and good ideas, getting to know each other is always good, and seeing everyone's faces is great. So yeah, whatever it is, I agree with Saverio. We have a great journey in front of us to learn from each other, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. We need to make it fun, so we can keep engaged. So yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Bye.
Nice to meet
Pablo.
See you in 2 weeks.
See you.
Bye.
See you guys.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.